Good morning, everyone. It is, it's May. It's May. I was going to say it's Monday, but it's not. It's Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. It's 9 a.m., which means it is time for the Mindful Moment. I am Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I am the Senior Minister here at Unity of Tucson. Unity of Tucson is an inclusive and loving spiritual center in Tucson, Arizona, where we encourage people to come and explore the principles of New Thought in order to find personal purpose, to develop a spiritual path, and also to master spiritual understanding. And so that's what this kind of experience is all about. I join you for the Mindful Moment every single weekday in the morning, usually at 9 a.m., to engage in my own spiritual practice and do so publicly. And part of that is that the public expression of my spiritual practice holds me accountable to the practice, and also the consistency by doing it every single weekday. What I have found is that consistency in my practice has enhanced the quality of my life. And so that's what I'm here to continue to allow to unfold in my life. Now, whether you're watching live or on the replay, I would love for you to post a comment and let me know that you're here. I will also offer this reminder. I will say to you, and I invite you to take this in, see what comes up for you in reflection and in relationship to these words. Because here's what I know about you. You are love. You are light. You are life. You are magnificent. And I am so grateful that you shine your light and share your magnificence with the world. Today, the thoughts that I've had were actually rooted in a quote that came across my desktop this morning. And now that I'm not sitting at my desk inside, I'm going to paraphrase the quote. But basically, the quote said, if you argue for your limitations, you own them. If you argue for your limitations, you own them. And so there's a couple things here in that. First of all, what is it you are looking to own in your life? Are you looking to own the ways that you limit the self, limit your experience, limit your worldview? Are you arguing for those to be prevalent in your life? And what is the alternative? If you choose not to argue for those things, what's the alternative? Well, I like to think that the alternative is infinite freedom. We've just moved through the month of flow in April. That was our theme. And we're stepping into the month of creativity in May. That is our theme for this month, creativity. And so if you were to argue for your limitations, what I think is happening is you're ultimately stifling your creativity. Now, if you're wondering where I got that quote from that came across my desktop today, it's actually from, it's not an unusual concept, right? I've talked about that concept before, but this particular quote that came across my desktop today is actually by an author who is near and dear to my heart because I was named after the title character of one of his books. I was named after Jonathan Livingston Seagull. That book, of course, was written by Richard Bach. And that quote, though, the one about limitation, comes from this book, Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah. And what I find fascinating that I was reminded of this morning in relationship to that is that I read this book when I was in high school. Late high school, early university years. This became I read this in high school. For sure, I read this in high school. But this became a really profound book for me. And I really, in fact, it's been 30 years. I want to read it again. But as I've reviewed it again recently and looked at the ideas that are contained within it, that was actually a very early stepping into the constructs of what ultimately I would call New Thought, because he has ideas like that. If we argue for our limitations, we own them. So it all comes full circle, doesn't it? I think I'm always on the right path. And the question is, am I willing to open up, be in the creative flow, and stop arguing for those limitations? So that's what I'm going to think about today. That's what I'm going to put my focus on today, to let go of any sense of limitation, because ultimately the only limitations that exist are those that I have created in my own mind. And so I can argue for those things that exist in my mind, but they may not be rooted in spiritual truth. And the spiritual truth is this: we are unlimited because we are infinite. That is the nature of the divine expressing by means of us and by all that is. So let's take that into our practice of prayer. If it is safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes, I invite you to do so. I'm going to choose to close my eyes, as it is an invitation for me personally to turn that attention to the inner life. And as I turn the attention to the inner life, it is also an opportunity to begin to look at what it is I choose to own in mind. And knowing that whatever I choose to own in mind, whether I have made that choice at the level of awareness or below the level of awareness, doesn't matter. Whatever I choose to own becomes my experience, becomes mine. And so I am enabled with and empowered to make determinations around what is supportive and productive and evolutionary and forward moving in my life and what is not. And I choose to release those things that are contrary to the evolution of my experience in this thing called life. And this is all rooted in the understanding that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is God and nothing else. There is love and nothing else. There is an infinite creative source, an intelligent life principle, and nothing else. There is consciousness and nothing else. And while I utilize many names to construct an understanding of it, it is beyond names. It is beyond any limitation in mind. And yet, knowing that it is infinite, I also understand that it is who I am and who we all are. For there can be no separation from the infinite. There is only the flow. There is only the infinite creative source. There is only the evolutionary unfoldment. There is only God, and this is our identity. And so everything that I speak here is rooted in that understanding and becomes a created expression in my life, for it is rooted in a causative idea in mind, in heart. And so I welcome the flow. I welcome the unlimited understanding of being. And I open up to a lightness in this. I open up to an ease in this flow. And it is with gratitude and appreciation overflowing from within that I simply let it be. I relax, I trust, and allow. I allow. I allow. And in the allowing, I affirm this by saying, and so it is. Amen. And so it is. I am always delighted to share time with you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. I'll be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. All kinds of stuff happening. Oh, I want to let you know that if you are aware of the rant that Reverend Steph and I sometimes do on the first Friday of the month, hey, this is the first Friday of the month, so you're likely to see a rant on Friday. That goes onto Facebook and to YouTube, so check that out. Anyway, that's happening. Sophia, the women's group, is meeting here at Unity at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Dance Zen, 6 p.m. Saturday. Sunday celebration at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Woo, got a fly coming to say hello. All kinds of stuff happening here. Go check it all out at unitytucson.com. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace and blessings, everybody.